When quality and care are infused into every stage of the home building process, the result is a powerhouse you can love for a lifetime.
That is true, Pete. From design to construction techniques to materials, style, longevity, and energy efficiency, it can all be built into every step.
Today on PowerHouse, we'll branch out to learn more about timber frame construction.
We'll explore the fabulous world of prefab homes.
We'll get an inside look at an unconventional home, lovingly referred to as a barnominium, and a visit to a company that turns paper into insulation.
Come along for the ride as we take energy-efficient building to the next level. It's time to hit the road for this week's PowerHouse. Solid and dependable construction is the hallmark for any long-lasting home. And to achieve that with beautiful and unique methods is a dream for anyone building their home. Doug Beilfuss has been timber framing since 1996, and it was his passion in the craft that led him to start his own company, Custom Timber Frames. So Doug, how and why did you discover timber framing, and what does it mean to you?
So timber framing is something you have to have passion for, and it's an ancient craft using hand tools. It has a lot of meaning to it, and that's really what drew me to it, and that's where I am today.
I can tell you're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So what kind of services do you offer here?
Custom Timber Frames offers design, whole house design, engineering, and then we do timber frame construction, delivery, install, and structurally insulated panel systems as well.
So it's really start to finish process. Yep. People are in good hands with you from start to finish.
That's right.
Okay. So your offices are just out there, but we're here, you do all of your millworking here on site.
That's right.
What kind of woods do you work with?
Our primary species are white pine like you see around you. We use Douglas fir, white oak, and western red cedar. Also glue lambs, so laminated timber.
All right. Well, earlier you took me through your most recent project. What were the energy efficient steps or materials that you used in that project?
I think the biggest one was the insulated panel system, walls and roof on that. So those systems bring efficiency from the beginning, from install, speed of construction, and then into performance of the structure.
Let's talk about it a little bit, because I think of it as Lego building, kind of.
It is.
But can you take us step by step, starting with what they're constructed of? We have a little example here.
Right. So we work with polystyrene insulation, which you see here. We like it because it's flatter. It's a little more true. These things do go together with spline systems, caulking, and really that is it.
When you say spline system, is that how they fit in together?
Right, that's where the two SIP panels come together. We're using caulk in there, bringing it together, nailing both sides, inside and out, and it's incredibly strong.
Yeah, and efficient, because there is not an air pocket to be seen in
That's
these
right.
walls.
Yep.
Right, and it also expedites the house being constructed.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge factor with these as well.
Yeah, I think you were saying that this last project, it's only been several months.
Yes.
And it's that far along.
Yes.
I'm guessing that a lot of our viewers' interest is piqued in timber frame building, and when they, see what you do.
Yeah.
Now, is that interchangeable with stick-built homes as far as cost goes? I'm guessing it is not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, SIP panel systems on their own can be competitive with a stick-built home. They are a little more expensive, but you can function in that market. When we bring the timber frame in, we're stepping into a high-end building market. So
Okay. That's really what sets you apart too. That's
It
your
is.
craft, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing this information. Nice visiting with you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about building an energy-efficient powerhouse, visit our website. PowerHouseTV.com. You have a lot of decisions to make if you're building a new home. There are lots of options out there, and one option for you might be a modular home. Sometimes known as prefab homes or manufactured homes, they can offer a lot of benefits. Joining us today is Zach Rhodes from Sunrise Housing. So Zach, today's modular homes are not our grandparents' modular homes, are they?
No, they're not.
Can you explain what's changed over time as far as availability?
Customization is the biggest thing. So Sunrise Housing has been in business for over 50 years now, and when our owner, Jack Luer, took over the business from his parents in the early 90s, one of the things that he set out to do was to partner with factories that would allow for total customization of the floor plan. He felt strongly that each homeowner is unique and too diverse to be forced into a cookie cutter. Today, every home that we build is essentially a totally custom floor plan. And many of those are actually designed by the customers themselves. On top of that, the styles and offerings that modular is able to produce have expanded greatly. So from your vanilla ranch to Cape Cods to 2 stories, vaulted ceilings, dormers, you name it.
Wow, that's really exciting. I need you to clarify something for me. I have heard of modular homes. I've also heard of manufactured homes or prefab homes. Are those terms interchangeable or are they different?
So prefabricated is sort of the general term to describe a home that is built inside of a factory and then shipped to a customer's home site. That could be manufactured, which goes on piers and is built to the HUD code, or modular, which is built to the residential code and is placed on a crawl space or a basement perimeter foundation.
So modular is more in line with a traditionally stick-built home with a basement then?
Exactly.
And you do both modular as well as manufactured?
Yes, we do both types.
Okay. How does a customer determine what their house is going to look like?
So visiting one of our 2 locations with display models is a great first step. But then once we start the design process, oftentimes we end up creating something new. And so that's where our CAD designers can be very helpful, because they can live draw with you, but also take your design and then create a 3D rendering of it and add in your colors, which really helps visualize what it is that you're creating.
Wow, having that kind of detail and being able to virtually walk through your home must be a great assurance for customers.
It is, because not everybody can imagine what a 2D black and white plan is going to look like, and particularly if they're struggling with a color scheme, or not totally sure if that countertop goes with the cabinets. Being able to see it in their very kitchen is really helpful.
Can you walk us through the construction process?
Sure. So once your design is completed, we'll turn that order into the factory, and generally speaking, that order will hit the assembly line in 8 to 10 weeks. And then from there, once that home is started on the assembly line, it's usually completed in about 1 week.
Wow. So what is the general timeline from the time you order the house to the time you can move in?
Once we've completed it at the factory on the assembly line, then we're going to ship that home to your site, and then there's the whole finish process on that end of things, and that is another 10 to 12 weeks. So your overall time frame, we tend to say, order to move in is about 4 to 6 months.
So being built in a factory, an enclosed factory, I imagine that offers a lot of advantages.
It does, yes. Your entire home build is not ever exposed to the elements. So your lumber and your building materials is out of the rain. the ice, the snow, and you also, because your home's being built on an assembly line, you have, experts at every level: drywall, flooring, framing, and the precision in which they are assembling your floors, your walls, your ceilings is much higher than typical construction, and it creates a much tighter build, which is the best way that you can prevent air leakage in your home. And air leakage is typically the biggest detriment to a home's energy efficiency.
So when they're constructing this in the factory, you mentioned colors. So they not only do the plumbing, wiring, they can also do the paint. All of that is done in the factory?
Yeah, I mean, as much as the factory can do, they're doing. So whether that's flooring, cabinets, countertops, doors, trim, backsplash, wiring in the outlets, the lighting fixtures, putting in, your tub, your sink in the bathrooms, and then all of those things, whether, if, for example, plumbing, they're gonna stub through your water and drain lines underneath the floor, and your registers for your HVAC system are gonna be booted through the floor, and then those things get completed on site by your HVAC plumber.
Great. And lastly, let's talk about cost a little bit. Can you give us a range of comparison between this type of home and a traditionally built home?
Yeah, so we certainly have a variety of sizes, square footages, and quality levels, so that there is quite a range that we offer. But if we try to get as close to an apples-to-apples comparison to a traditional stick-built home, say on a basement, with one of our modular homes on a basement, 20 to 40% savings on that overall project is very common.
Thanks, Zach, so much for walking us through the process. This sounds like a great option. If you'd like more energy-saving ideas for the construction of your new PowerHouse, visit our website, powerhousetv.com.
Prefabricated homes were produced during the gold rush in the United States during the 19th century to enable California prospectors to quickly construct homes. Also known as kit houses, pre-cut houses, ready-cut houses, mail-order homes, or catalog homes, they remained popular into the first half of the 20th century. You've probably heard the expression, "Were you born in a barn?" Usually someone says that when you leave the door open and allow the heat or the cool air to escape the house. Our next guest wasn't born in a barn, but he is choosing to live in one. Drew Palmer is here to share his details about his barnominium. But first of all, Drew, you weren't born in a barn.
I was not born in a barn.
Oh, okay.
But we're sure looking forward to living in one.
All right, so talk to us a little about, explain the barnominium term.
The barnominium also has other terms, shop house, shouse. They're basically a combination of your shop or your garage and your house as well. Generally in a barnominium shop house, the garage section or barn section is a little bit larger than the house, so people like to refer to it as a garage with an attached house.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about as you were putting the designs together, what were you hoping as your goals?
Well, we were hoping to put our toys and work things inside of the shop area, RV, so we had enough space for all of that. And then when we started actually designing all the features of the house, we knew that people always gather around the kitchen. So we kind of started there, knowing that there'd be enough room for our family all around one table and friends and visitors. And then we just kind of went out from there and took each section next to where the where the kitchen is.
Talk to us a little bit, Drew, about the features that you're putting into this barnominium.
Well, our goal, one of our number one important things was energy efficiency. So we started from the ground up. We used an ICF form for all the concrete, which provides for a lot of insulation inside and outside of the building, and then
An ICF.
ICF insulated concrete form. And then we added another R10 2 inches of foam on the outside of that, and then we sealed it up with a product called Polyguard, which is a super dense rubber that basically goes around the outside of the foundation, and then it kind of helps encapsulate what Mother Nature provides from heat coming up.
Now we're up here. Is this second or third floor? What's this?
Well, we like to call this the third floor,
Okay.
but it's the third level. There's a first level, which is obviously concrete, and then you come up another 7-8 foot, and then there's another level. Kitchen level is at about 10 foot, and the level we're standing in right now is 15 foot 8.
And as I look around, talk to us a little bit, because I know you've got a unique building structure with the walls here.
Yeah, this is called a balloon frame. So the walls are actually one continuous structure from the foundation to the top of the wall. That way, where your floor structures come in and connect to it, there is no thermal bridging around any of that insulation area. Usually in a traditionally built home, your walls come up, then you have your box joist to go on top of that, and there ends up being a little bit of a cold spot there on the box joist.
And we don't usually see that, so that's unique that you're doing here. But again, in terms of thinking about the insulation, all the way that you're wrapping around.
Right. We wanted one solid area that had zero thermal bridging at all.
I know one of your goals, you had mentioned net zero structure. Again, you're producing a lot of your own power and to be as energy efficient as you can.
Yes, so number one, we don't have any gas out here, natural gas or LP. Everything's going to be electrical or solar. So on the southwest facing plane, which is this one right here, there's a 15 kW solar system being put on. And basically we tried to estimate what our usage was going to be and try to get that down as close to zero as possible.
But we also like that, again, you're very much conscious in being energy efficient here, right?
Yes. So the insulation in the walls is pretty important to us. So after we're done with the spray foam, then the rest of all of the walls all get a net and blow to fill the rest of the 8-inch cavity, and then all of the ceiling after the spray foam gets net and blow, and that fills a 14-inch cavity.
Well, Drew, thank you very much. And if you'd like to learn more about net zero structures and saving energy, visit our website at powerhousetv.com. A zero energy building, or ZEB, produces enough renewable energy to meet its own annual energy consumption requirements, thereby reducing the use of non-renewable energy in the building sector. ZEBs use all cost-effective measures to reduce energy usage through energy efficiency and include renewable energy systems that produce enough energy to meet remaining energy needs. Read all about it. Today's final destination isn't necessarily something you'd see in the papers, but you can see the paper in it. Editorials turn into energy savings when a Mason City area business creates cellulose insulation.
Cellulose insulation is the oldest insulation product in the country. It's made primarily from paper fiber. In the beginning, it was strictly newspaper and a few other products. There was a glut of newspaper. They couldn't get rid of it. We were actually paid to pick up the paper. As the newspaper supply dwindled, we've incorporated other fibers like a little bit of cardboard.
Mason City Recycling has been producing cellulose insulation since 1980 and produces around 4,000 bags a day.
Well, we pick up the paper out around the Midwest here. We bring it in and we unload it either by forklift or skid loader. We load it onto a conveyor where we sort any contaminants that may be in there, like a little bit of plastic or something. and it goes into what we call our #1 mill, which takes the paper down to about the 50-cent piece size. It is then blown into a surge bin that meters the paper out. As it comes out of the surge bin, we add our fire retardants to it there, and it is then introduced into our finish grinders. We call them fiberizers. Once it has the final grind on it, it's blown into our bagger where it is packaged and then loaded onto trucks.
Cellulose insulation is very dense. Because of its density, it offers several benefits over traditional fiberglass insulation. It helps stop sound infiltration, fills smaller gaps or voids, and takes less material to reach the same R value than traditional fiberglass insulation.
Along with its high R value, it's very cost effective. It gives you the most bang for your buck price-wise. It is very fire resistant and mold resistant, and it is very eco-friendly with the benefits of keeping products out of the landfill, as well as it's biodegradable at the end of its life.
Dean says since they started, they have diverted approximately 15,000 truckloads of paper from the landfill. That's a big pile.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this building edition of PowerHouse as much as we did.
We explored the roots of timber frame construction.
We got all the home in a fraction of the time with fantastic prefab options.
We saw a barn structure become a home for more than the livestock.
And we learned about insulation that's effective, safe, and environmentally friendly.
Great show, Megan.
It was.
You bet. Check out PowerHouseTV.com for more energy-saving ideas and construction tips. There are ever-improving ways to build your perfect powerhouse.